Alright, let's go over a little bit for the Tusk event, for that Frozen Tusk event. If you're not warbanding, if you're soloing, which probably do a lot, that's where I got most of my points, was soloing. A lot of points come with the 12s, and if you can get up and hit the 12s, then that's what I would try to do with and minimize your losses. The 8s give the level 8 the level 8 armies give good points and good rewards, but the level 12s are better. You get much more of the Fulgurite or whatever that is, which is what you really want. So starting out first, these things are really tanky, and you really need to have a good large powerful march. So first thing you want to do is get your Blood Bastion. You want your march capacity. That gives, well, level 3, level 4 where I'm at now gives you 10,000 more march capacity on top of your what you can already have. You definitely want your Blood Bastion. Hopefully you're already working on things like your Warlord Concave for your added march capacities, because that helps to increase your march capacity. And let's go to some gear. For the gear, if you're like me, you're going to be running corn. I've gotten a lot of the corn doggies, the corn dogs, the flesh hounds. I've been really focused on making those. My focus now has been on making more Chaos Warriors of Zeech. These right here, the Chaos Warriors. I want more, but I have a good bit. I want to get my flesh hounds up to about 700k. And then I'm also working really hard on the Chaos Knights of Corn. I want to get them up to about 600k. I would like to do 100k in each march. So I'm working on those. So now if you're going to do the gear, this is what my setup looks like this is my combat setup. So if I'm doing PvP, hitting keeps, hitting tiles in RVR, or whatever, this is my setup, and this is what you'll want to hit the Frozen Tusk too. I go with this headset because it gives you a corn health bonus. Now, it's not. A corn health bonus is nice, but your tanks are, I'll show you what your tanks are going to be. Your tanks are going to be Zeech, so you're going to want to use those for your tanks. But you also get a bit of an infantry melee damage, and you're going to have, in some of the marches, I have a little bit of infantry. I have some of the Cornigers. What you can also do is this right here. You can also do this brass helm because you get an infantry armor bonus, and so that's also a really good second or other option, because like I said, we're going to use the Chaos Warriors of Zeech to be the tanks, and so that would actually be maybe a better option. Definitely, that would probably be a better option than the Headsman Skullhelm. As far as your gauntlets go, these are the ones I use, the Bracers of Command, because you want that War Beast melee damage bonus. Now, these are only uncommon. I really can't wait to get these up. I really can't wait to get these up to epic. I mean, especially legendary. 17% damage bonus, and then 20% War Beast melee damage bonus, because your War Beasts are going to be doing most of your damage. The amulet, that doesn't matter. I don't really have anything anything right now that can really help me in a march as far as the amulet goes. I'll have to look through. I'm not sure if there is anything that would help. There may be. But I'm not sure. Now this right here, this is one of the important ones. Now there's a couple. There's two options at least that you can go with the boots. I want march speed because sometimes with this event you're going up against people that want to snipe you. You know, you got maybe a little bit of a long march, and as you know, sniping is a thing. Some of these people just don't care. They will snipe the hell out of you. So you want that march speed. See, we got a 12% boost on our march speed, which is really nice. So I go with those. Your other option, you can go, and sometimes I do go with it, but this is my second option, is for a little bit of extra melee damage. Melee attack bonus. And so you can go with that. If it was a damage bonus, I would probably go with the damage bonus, but because it's just an attack bonus, I want the march. I want the march speed. That's more important to me. And then probably the most important, in my opinion, important piece is this chest piece. And as you can see, I worked hard I hustled to get this stuff to legendary as fast as I could because I wanted that 15% march capacity. That is important. Plus, the corn armor bonus is also nice because, you know, if they go through your Zeech, tanks, then you got the Cornigers next. In some marches, you got the Cornigers, and so they're tanky, but a little bit of help's nice. And so that's as far as the gear. I don't think there is really much that helps that can really buff it. That can really buff for a march. I could be wrong, but I haven't really seen anything that can buff for that. And so that is most of my setup. Oh, one of the most important things too, like the more important thing just about of all, is your champion skills. You want to spec for combat for these because these things are hard to hit, and there was a couple of times where I forgot to respec. I set up to do some gathering and to build a couple of troops. When I went back to the event to start hitting armies again, I forgot to respec, and I went back and looked at some battle reports. I was like, whoa, why am I losing so many troops all of a sudden? Well, it's because I forgot to respec. And so going down the left side here, if you set up like I set my march up, your corn dogs are going to be doing most of your damage on most of your main marches. Once you get a lot of troops built, you can send out marches that are about the same, instead of sending out one super good march, one pretty good march, another man march, and then a fourth march of just like thrown together, bottom of the barrel, whatever you got. Monstrous blows. That's the number one. Increases damage dealt by your monsters, monsters, beasts, and war beasts. That's your corn dogs. So you want to increase that damage. You increase that damage to 17%. And then you're going to want to go in and you're going to want to buff. You're going to want to buff your war beast attack. You're gonna max out Cruel Ashes 1 and 2. Then I go in here, and because I'm using my Chaos Warriors with Zeech for my tanks, they are infantry, and so you want to buff your armor for your infantry. Now, max out both the 1 and 2. You want to max out both of those, and then if you have any left over, then you can go into Cruel Ashes, which is increasing the attack for your monsters and monsters beasts. Increase the attack, so you want to increase the attack and the damage. But those are kind of last. And that is the setup for these Frozen Tusks. I can show you some of my marches. My main number 1 march is, let's find the tile. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's go with that one right there. Okay, my main march. So I'm going to, with these, I always buff because I want the biggest march I can get. So I buff my capacity 50% more, and then my warlord for my first main march is Karnak, and to get a bigger march, once again, Lord of Change. Then you want to come in and you want to buff the melee damage, buff march speed, and buff War Beast melee attack. If you don't really want to do the melee attack, which I would use that one, you can buff your march combat. So whichever one you want. Then of course you want to buff march capacity for that more bigger march. And then for your tanks, right here, Chaos Warriors of Zeech. These right here. These are what you want to use for your tanks. 60 armor, 1700 health, and they're cheap to heal. You go in, start losing 5, 6, 7, 10, 15,000 T4s per march. You're gonna run out of resources, and your healing bill is gonna be pretty high. So you want to use these things. I'm gonna try to get up to about 500,000 or so of these guys. So you want to throw in about 10,000. I'm gonna throw in about 10,000 of them for your tanks, and then you're gonna come in, and for your first march, I just want straight damage. Just want to do the damage. So just gonna max that out. 389,000 of them bad boys. 399. Okay. My march capacity should be 411. I'm not sure what's going on there. So I'm not sure. Oh, that's right, because I didn't actually apply the Blood Bastion. And so that right there is pretty much how you want to set up. Of course, your next marches are going to be what you got.